Hello! Welcome back to more Higurashi. Last time we got close to Satoko and learned about her history with her nii-nii, or her big brother, Satoshi, who is currently missing. Apparently he ran away from home. We're kind of taking that role instead as Keiichi. We'll have to see how that continues to develop. Oh yeah, I didn't actually put the link anywhere. I am a genius. Hey Serena, I'm crusty. Like my microphone? I didn't do an audio test or anything because I don't usually for streams. What does it sound like? I'm saying words like, remember to switch to live chat. Which I didn't do once I popped the chat out, because I'm a genius. Let me listen to it. Back to more Higurashi. Oh, I see. Don't know what could be causing that. Let me try something here. That's really weird. I think fucking with my headphone port fucks with the music of the game. That's weird. Anyway. Just make sure this is using the right mic, yeah. Okay. So it's not doing it anymore? Do I sound good? I was just trying to get the music to come back there. Or the sounds in this case. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and start then. We did 2 chapters last time. I actually don't know how many chapters there are. How many chapters in Tatarigoroshi? Okay. Apparently the previous chapters were actually... The previous arcs were actually 10 chapters each, and this one's 12. I thought the previous one was 12, but apparently not. So, okay, whatever. So it's a little longer. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, really? Your parents came home, huh? They smelled like energy drinks and their eyes were all bloodshot. They said they had a crazy amount of stuff to do and were up 2 whole nights in a row. Adults have it tough. Your dad is an artist, right? They really do have it rough. Come to think of it, he was, wasn't he? I would very much like to see what kinds of things he draws sometime. An artist, huh? I'd seen a number of watercolor and acrylic paintings on display, but he had to have been doing some other job too. So what did Dad do exactly? Didn't let anyone into his workshop after all. I went to sneak a peek one day. He's drawing porn. So the house is empty for 2 days after all that. That didn't leave much time. So, Kei-chan, did you manage to go after the character who is in your heart? The absence of parents is a must-have for eroge protagonists. Sorry, Daisy. He built up a lot of relationship points and raised all the right flags. I have no idea what any of you are talking about. Video games don't exist yet, dipshit. Well, I guess Atari games do. I'm doing well. I cooked today. You guys were just asking me yesterday if I can cook. Cooked some pasta al segreto. That means you don't need to cook for yourself anymore, Kate-kun. What did you make last night? In the end, I didn't make a single thing myself. Last night's dinner, well, it was vegetable stir-fry. Wow! Kei-chan, you can make a little bit of real cooking now, huh? No, I just got this 12-year-old to do it for me. Actually, she's not even 12 yet. She will be... I think her birthday in universe is like July 28th. It's like... No. Yeah? No, is it June? I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue. Also, give me a second. I gotta have a look at something. You baked a cake today. What kind of cake was it? June 24th? Okay. So I was way off, but 20-something of either June or July. There you go. That's what I meant. So yeah, that's like a couple weeks after Watanagashi, so just a simple cherry cake. Nice. So I got a message from my mom that was like, she copy-pasted like a TV guide summary for some TV show she was watching on BBC 4 about some trans woman in the 1970s. She's like, it's a good program, you might like this. I'm like, I told you to stop recommending me shows just because they have trans people in them. I don't even care about TV. I'm not going to watch this just because of that. I don't care. Call out for my mom. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. Anyway. You made vegetable stir-fry? Did it come out good? Did it? Rena-san, you're being unpleasant. Why are you clinging to me? A delicious meal and friendly dishwashing together. I know she had good intentions, but I have asked her before, like, please stop recommending this. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't care. She, like... How nice, how nice! Hey! I said you're being unpleasant! Huh? What are you talking about? Mion, utterly confused, asked me for clarification, but I just barely, albeit transparently, averted my eyes. Right. Does anyone have plans for this afternoon? You don't, do you? Do you? Today was Saturday, the beautiful day on which we're liberated from the confines of the school in the afternoon. Actually, the school in Hinamizawa had slightly different Saturdays than those in the city. Okay, give me a sec, she responded. Oh, I'm streaming. Actually, the school in Hinamizawa had slightly different Saturdays than those in the city. There were a lot of students here who brought a bento, ate it at lunch, and then went to play in the school or around the schoolyard. You could say that the entire school turned into a children's playground. There are mountains behind the school, and if you went down that way, you'd find mountain streams. You could avoid the strong sunlight and make conversation in the classroom if you wanted to. You could also play hide-and-seek in the construction pipes. That doesn't sound safe. What's the name of the program? A change of sex, or it says a change of sex, and then it says two, Julia, the first year. I don't know if this means like this is like season 2, episode 2 of like a larger series or something. I have no fucking clue. It's about someone called Julia. Of course, you're free to go home as well. There were some kids who went home and helped water the fields or tended to stores. If Mion was bringing up the afternoon like this, then it must have been for some crazy big club event. I'm just thinking now, actually, I'm streaming this. Would people be down for, like, hangout streams where I just chat and perhaps, like, do some idle activity? Like, you know, not outright playing a game, but not like progressing in some kind of game, but maybe playing some more simple game like Animal Crossing or Picross or something like that, or maybe doing art. The documentaries from the late 70s, or is it just it's about the late 70s? I've been thinking for the past week or so about doing a stream where I make more card art for my card game, because I did a little bit more of that the other day, and I'd like to do more of it, but I kind of just, I usually try to find, like, time when I'm not doing anything to do it. I don't know. If I'm streaming, I might make it more fun. I could get input as well. However, sadly, I had something I needed to do before taking part in whatever it was. It did premiere in 1979? Okay, fair enough. You have work? That's unlucky. I wonder what kind of work it is. Maybe helping his father with his artwork job. Or being a model for his father's art? God, I hope not. A model? A nude one? Ah! Rena, you pervert. I looked into Rena's eyes and saw myself completely naked in a questionable pose with a single rose in my mouth? Oh, what was it that I needed help for? Like, playtesting. Because I have a bunch of cards designed, but... And I do have a few people to playtest it with, but we don't really do it that often. They're often busy, and I don't want to bother them and stuff like that. If I had, like, a larger pool of people that were interested, then I might even be able to have, like... just more games going on, and not always involving me as well, so that people could test out different strategies and stuff, because I basically want to know, like, you know, if the design is consistently works well. The games I've played have been fun, but I don't know if there's something that unravels it, and, you know, the more people looking at it and figuring and playing it and figuring out strategies and stuff, the better chance I'll have of being able to find something out with that. I like I said, I plan on making a video about that, about the card game at some point that would, like, explain the rules and stuff, and that could maybe act as an opportunity to get people involved. No, I wouldn't do that for 1,000,000 yen! To get rid of Rena's delusions, I grabbed her head and swung it from side to side. I used Tabletop Simulator to playtest it, yeah. I would have no other means of really doing it. It is good that, that game works as a means of testing these things. How? Stop! Sorry. Leaving your fanciful delusions aside, I have something to do real quick during lunch. I'm okay to meet up with you after I'm done, though. Jeez. Work during lunch? I see. That sounds kind of cool, actually. What could it be? Are you having a banquet with VIP experts? Like a business lunch? This is truly sad, but you're right. What? Everyone shouts wildly, surprised. Fair enough. I would wait until you see the, like, video that introduces the game to decide if it seems up your alley or not, though. It was true. Keiichi. Today I'd be on the job with my family. For my dad's job, he was having about 10 people from the publishing agency over for a house party. He called people from work for a party the day after having stayed up 2 nights in a row. I'm amazed at their vitality. Adults have it pretty rough. Of course, it would be incredibly uncomfortable for me. It would be really tiring to have to force myself to smile at some old dudes I didn't know. But they were my dad's important business connections, so offending them would be bad. Well, with all that said, it was going to get very uncomfortable for me today, starting at lunch. Well, well, what an intelligent child. This is my son, Keiichi. Keiichi, this is Honda-san. He's a publisher. And this person here is Inoue-san, who works as a printer. Say your hellos. Hello. My name is Keiichi. I appreciate all you've done for my father. Keiichi-kun, do you draw pictures like your father does? I would very much like to see them. My dad had such a brazen occupation, that of an artist, although I don't really know what kinds of things he creates. I don't really care and don't want to see anyway. Dad's so tight-fisted about it, so he doesn't show them to me very often anyway. I'm not a kid anymore, so I wouldn't care at all if they were pictures of naked ladies or anything. If you study under your father as an apprentice, you'd be able to become a great artist like him, too. Excuse me, this is just between you and me, but my dad, is he really that great of an artist? I readied myself and whispered my question. It might have seemed odd for a son to be asking this, but when I did, he gave me this really strange grin and tightly clamped down onto my shoulders. Yes, he is truly a fantastic artist. Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. There are no purchase restrictions. He does fan service, and he always answers the letters he gets. He has an inquisitive mind, always on the prowl for what the world needs. Taking off your socks? Absolutely not! And that goes for glasses and school uniforms, too. Yeah, he draws hentai. Maebara-sensei understands these things perfectly. Every event sees him along the wall with a huge lineup. I'm sorry, but his pictures, they're not ones you hang on the wall? Not at all. In the beginning, everyone starts in the islands. And then to their corners. And finally climbing up to the corners of the larger paths. The final destination is the famous wall. You too, please become a great artist who can display his works in unison with Maebara-sensei. I'll cheer you on. It's fine to have a lot of passion for the things you like, but I didn't get it, but it seemed that the world of art ran pretty deep. It was probably a much deeper world than I could have imagined. I decided to leave it at that. Then I realized my mom was calling me from the other side of the room. Keiichi, it's the phone. It's a friend of yours. A lucky break. Maybe I could get out of this uncomfortable business party by using a friend's phone call as an excuse. I scampered over to the front door and snatched up the receiver my mom had left there. Hello, it's me. Hello, me. That's not how you answer the phone, Keiichi-san. It's okay, Daisy. I implore you, learn how to choose your words more properly. I was of the opinion that the person speaking to me had a far stranger way of talking. Oh, it's Satoko. It's unusual for you to call my house. This isn't the time for pleasantries. Keiichi-san, when are you going to be able to come? Sorry. It looks like this is going a bit long. I can't get them to let me go. I want to go do things with the club now, but... That's not it, Keiichi-san. It wasn't about the club today. It's a real battle! Satoko's voice was different from normal. I could feel the urgency in it drifting through the phone. A real battle? That doesn't sound good. What's the situation? I will explain the particulars when we meet. Anyway, this is a terrible crisis. At this rate, we're going to lose. What on earth was going on? Could it have been a fight? I didn't know who they were, but laying a hand on someone from Hinamizawa was an absolutely terrible idea. Right. Got it. I'll come and reinforce you right away. Where are you at? We're in the Okinomiya Elementary School campus. There are signs at the station, so you should be able to figure it out. Anyway, we're in a huge hurry. The school campus. The situation could have a lot of people involved. Could it have turned into an all-out brawl? Who's the enemy here, anyway? Oh, I'm on fire! Got it! I'll be there soon. Should I bring a weapon with me? Like a metal baseball bat or something? You have a metal bat? That would be fantastic! We'll wait for you here. The call cut off abruptly. I needed to hurry. Oh, Keiichi. I was looking for you. Deguchi-san here was hoping that for his next doujinshi. Now's not the time. Don't we have a bat? A metal bat? If not, then anything long will do. If anything long will do, then my golf clubs are in the storage room. It didn't have the same kind of impact, but a golf club was a splendid weapon too. It was lighter than a baseball bat and maybe easier for me to use. Thanks. I'm borrowing one. I really need to go see my friends for something. It's urgent. Sorry. Well, Keiichi, wait a minute. I grabbed a golf club, jumped on my bike, and headed straight for town. Wait for me, Satoko. I'll be right there. Just hold out until then. I didn't actually know where Okinomiya Elementary was exactly, but Satoko's phone call seemed to demand urgency, so I rushed out without asking her about how to get there. But if I went to the station, there'd be signs. At least I feel like that's what she said. Then I heard the jingling of a bicycle bell from behind me. Hello there. Hey, Rika-chan. Keiichi, you came quickly. You put the pedal to the metal. Damn, this isn't the time to be out of breath. I need to hurry. Sorry, where's Okinomiya Elementary? I'll show you the way. Come along with me. Rika-chan rode off on her bike. I followed her. Satoko suddenly called me out here, but what on earth is going on anyway? At first we had the advantage. However, they called in a helper. It's bad manners. A helper? What cowards calling for reinforcements the minute they realize they'd lose. They're taking everyone out one by one. We can't put a dent in them. Sounds like they were pretty strong. Anyway, I'll ask about it later. We don't have time, right? Please hurry. Leave it to me. With Rika-chan leading the way, we headed straight for the elementary school grounds. I asked Rika-chan something during that time. It seemed that all of the club members besides me were part of this fight. Damn, so what Mion was trying to tell everyone was that this would happen? If I had known that, I would have just ditched my family job. But it was too late for regrets. According to Rika-chan, we had a one-sided advantage at the start, but our angry foes had brought in a powerful ally. The club members put up a resistance and went against them one by one, but apparently they couldn't stand up to them. The combined efforts of the whole club couldn't win? Just what kind of monster is this guy? He's amazing. This enemy is orthodox. Orthodox? So they weren't using thuggish brawling tactics, but actually had studied karate or something. Is that what she meant? Keiichi is our last ray of hope now. Okinomiya Elementary came into view. I could hear many voices raising hell over there. Mion! Reina! Satoko! I'll be there soon! I'll crush them all at once! There were a lot of bicycles left out in front of the school. I left mine there next to them in the same way. I could tell there were a lot of people flooding the campus. With the two armies in the midst of a huge no-holds-barred brawl, I took my golf club in hand. Whoosh! I swung it. I felt the sensation of it sticking firmly to my palm. Great! The feedback wasn't bad. I'm gonna go all out with this thing. I dashed at a breakneck speed to the school gates, swinging it around. Come with me, Rika-chan! I'll show you what the mighty, manly warrior Kiichi Maebara can really do!
Wow. Kiichi, you're so reliable. You're going to Rampage or the golf club.
Rika-chan applauded me, though a little dryly, lauding my valiance. The manly Kiichi Maebara put it behind him and headed for the place where he may die.
But Kiichi, why did you bring a golf club today?
I had no choice! At first I figured a baseball bat would have been good, but we don't have one at my house. A golf club was far better than going barehanded, so I brought one.
How very excellent. I'll give you a pat on the head. I can't wait to see your golf club rampage.
Despite the emergency situation, Rika-chan reached up and stroked me on the head. Hey! This is no time for jokes! Huh? Just then, an extremely loud metallic sound rang out, and I heard many people cheering.
Left! Ah! We missed! Run! You can get to second base! Go! Center! Calm down! Send it to third!
The center fielder caught the ball, and after a brief pause, sent it flying to third base. If he had pitched it wildly, it might get there. He gave up on second and threw it to third with time to spare. The instructions from the bench, they were solid. Wait, what?
Oh, Keiichi-kun's here! Satoko-chan, Satoko-chan, Keiichi-kun's here! You're late! 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 Loafing around is only okay when you do it at the bread shop!
This Maebara-kun kid, will he really be able to save us? We're up against that elite school's ace, left-arm Kamada-kun. And to be able to beat a Koshien class pitcher, he must be a god.
It's okay. I'm sure that Keiichi-kun can turn the tables. He's a really dependable person.
What? He's the pinch hitter we brought in to take out left-arm Kameda with his bullet fastball? The one who had won no hit, no run game after another during the regional qualifiers? The undefeated demon pitcher of Oshima. The super high school level pitcher that had already been marked by professional scouts. He's going to win against him?
Some greenhorn pitcher like that is no match for Keiichi-san.
Good thing he didn't stop beating people, yeah.
He'll send his throws all the way to the back screen for an easy victory.
Murmur. There was a slugger like that in this prefecture? I had no idea. He must have gone under the radar. Hey! That scout stood up! Hey! Take a picture! His full name is Keiichi Maebara. Look him up in the database and send his history to our office. Which one is Keiichi Maebara? Pictures! A whole lot of sports journalists, led by Satoko, gripped their cameras tightly and searched for the rumored Keiichi Maebara. As for me, I was so dazed at what was happening that I was frozen in place with my golf club up in the air.
Keiichi-san, over here! Eh?
The camera people stared at me through their viewfinders, and just like I had, they turned to stone. In the hands of their gallant pinch hitter, Keiichi Maebara was a golf club. Nobody could seem to understand why I was holding something like this. And at this point, neither did I. A cold, greasy sweat dripped from me. The first one to break the inordinately awkward silence was Hidena.
Keiichi-kun.
Yeah?
Maybe ask you a question?
Please don't. Psychic waves of my entreaty flowed out of my face along with my sweat. It somehow seemed to reach the two of them. The deathly quiet reporters all parted, as Moses once parted the sea. But Moses probably didn't go through the parted seas this quietly. If you're playing baseball, then tell me that from the start!
What? Did I not say that? I mean, I told you to come to the campus with a baseball bat. What else could you have thought it was? And what manner of thinking caused you to mistakenly bring a golf club here instead? I think... Keiichi-kun must have done it on purpose to lighten our moods and get us pumped, I think. think?
Rena smiled bitterly and covered for me with all her might. Please believe her, everyone. I'm begging you.
Keiichi loves golf. Pet, pet.
Rika-chan started patting my head, a broad grin on her face all the while. I pushed her hand away, grabbed her from behind by her suspenders, and picked her up like a kitten.
Me!
Rika-chan! Why didn't you tell me it was a baseball game when we met at the station?
I wouldn't have had to suffer such a disgrace. Nippa!
Rika-chan's smile was like the sun, so incredibly innocent. She's glowing. When I saw Rika-chan's radiant smile, I couldn't help but feel like I could forgive anything she did. However, if Rika-chan thought I actually would, then she had another thing coming. Anyway, this is your punishment. Rena.
Me?
Rika is really adorable, yeah, I love her. Rika-chan still plucked up in my hand. I offered her to Rena. That's right. The kittenified Rika-chan sent Rena's voltage into overcharge.
I'll take her! I'll take her! I don't know, I'll take her! So cute!
Ha! Spinny, spinny. Rena stuck out her tongue like a chameleon and preyed upon the Rika-chan while spinning her around.
Rika-chan's so cute!
Good picture.
Rika-chan's so cute! Oh! Me!
Rena held her tight as a vice and began to get her fill of rubbing her cheek into Rika-chan's. No, Nipa is just a nonsense noise she says to be cute. Same thing with me. Their cheeks rubbed together tightly. Rika-chan's face, it looked like it was being crushed by Rena's.
I do not know what has happened, but it looks like Rika has gotten her just desserts.
Yeah, I recently found out that Rika-chan isn't only cute.
I got Kate-kun's permission! I'm gonna take you home! Me!
For the moment, I just gave her a 3-minute timeout. By the way, Satoko, that urgent call was for a baseball game?
Yes, that's correct. You said you had a house party with your family. I suppose I was wrong to ask, but at times of trouble like these, you obviously must prioritize friends over family.
I felt like that's what I was supposed to be. I was supposed to be saying, not you. Well, it was just a business party for my dad, I guess. It's so cute. I honestly felt glad to be called out here. So, what's the crisis situation like? 6-7, which means our team is losing, huh? 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th? What the heck? This game is almost about to end.
We would have had a little more time if you'd gotten here sooner. Do you have any idea how difficult it was for us to hold out for this long?
Alright, I'm sorry. Okay, so, what am I doing? Am I gonna be the pinch hitter? Just leave it to me. I may not look like it, but I went to the batting cages a lot before I moved here. My dad went there for fun, and I used to go with him pretty often. I'm pretty confident about just hitting the bat with the ball, but Rena's basement is full of cute things, including people. Vroom! A tremendous sound rang out, the likes of which I'd never heard before. The catcher's mitt trembled, sending up a light cloud of dust, telling me the tremendous sound had come from the ball. Hey now, wait a second. What's up with that crazy fastball, anyway? Surprised? Yeah. That's a bona fide Koshien level pitcher. Don't you know about Left Arm Kameda-kun, the high school ace famous in sports magazines? Sorry, can't say I do. Wait, Mion! What happened to you? Mion showed up, and to my surprise, she was wrapped up in bandages. Oh, was she now? Hang on. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any bandages. Also, I like how there's blurred people in the background of the original version. Just what on earth happened?
Well, you came late, so I guess we need to explain from the beginning.
Oh, done with Rika-chan?
Yep. I had a lot of fun, and she's so cute. She's so soft and fluffy and squishy. I could just eat her cheeks 3 meals a day.
Okay, right now.
Meep. I can't get married anymore.
I wonder how Rika-chan's cheeks taste if you could eat them 3 times a day. I almost flipped my own delusion switch, but I put a stop to it using logic. I was an adult. You're 14. You're not an adult. Shut up, Shireen. Okay, explain away. How did things get screwed up enough that a Koshien relief pitcher ended up at a baseball game for fun? Everyone exchanged glances. Then Rena spoke for all of them.
At first, well, it was just a normal baseball game.
It's nothing much, just a little grudge match between the Hinamizawa fighters and the Okinomiya Titans. We were just having a grand old time, really, nothing much.
Well, in simpler terms, it was an intramural match. A match to settle the grudge between Hinamizawa and Okinomiya. They say grudge, but it's all pretty peaceful and friendly.
So why is our whole club a part of it? Some of you are wearing uniforms and some aren't. Last I checked, we weren't the school baseball team.
That is, well, it was pretty irresponsible.
They happened to have some players who couldn't make it today. They were pretty down in the dumps, so we ended up getting involved post-haste. I see. So if there weren't enough members, anyone could come to the rescue, whether boy or girl, and no matter what grade they were in. That jumbled together feeling was the hallmark of our school. But Rika-chan told me we were crushing them at the beginning.
Nii is an amazing batter. She was hitting home runs left and right.
Mion proudly stuck out her chest. Doing so seemed to hurt her somehow, and she groaned pathetically.
Yes. Every time Mion-san went out to bat, she hit a home run and brought everyone on the bases in. Unlike Satoko, she can actually hit the ball. Rika! Meep.
Alright, I think I got the gist of it. So you were having a pretty easy time until that Koshien pitcher showed up. That's right. It was all us at the beginning. Maybe we didn't get all that many points, but we were always getting people on the bases.
And Kameda-kun just happened to show up and to watch the game today.
Apparently Kameda attends a fairly well-known school in our prefecture that frequently sent people to Koshien. And this man, known as the ace of their baseball team, Kameda, seemed to be quite skilled. Now that I thought about it, it was certainly strange to see cameramen with journalist armbands here to watch a casual baseball game out in the sticks like this.
I heard that when Kameda was little, he was on the Okinomiya Titans.
You figured it out, right? His old team was losing, so that's why he jumped in as relief pitcher and took the mound. Now it's just terrible. We can't even hit any foul balls, much less get anyone on base.
But still! A Koshien pitcher barging in. It's unfair. We're just playing for fun.
All the boys wearing the Hinamizawa fighters uniform were hanging their heads in disappointment. I knew almost all of their faces. Isn't everyone here a classmate? Oh, I see. We're the only school in Hinamizawa, after all. Oh, it's Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun. You were on the baseball team, too?
Maebara-san.
His uniform was brand new and not very dirty, fresh off the presses. I could see handmade banners with their names written on them in the grandstands. I see. Their families came to root for them in their debut game today.
Okamura said he just got his bat today as a present from his dad.
The brand new bat sparkled. With that kind of present, a man just has to perform well.
He practiced swinging a whole lap just for today. Tomita-san, well, he went too far and he tore the skin off his hand, see, unfortunately.
His torn hand looked like it hurt, but from that injury you could sense his backbone. I get it, guys. You wanted to make your big moment a good one. The savior of the Okinomiya Titans. We could hear the sounds of this Kameda-kun's tremendous fastball practice. This was no joke. He was definitely on a level far above high school kids. But at his level, he clearly shouldn't have been interrupting a grass lot game, grudge match though it may have been. He should have understood how much better he was, too. This guy? Was he being serious against opponents like these?
Yep. Irena thinks it's immature.
Rena's eyes grew harsh. It took a lot to get Rena mad. As for Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, they were sniffling, fighting back tears. We heard another tremendous noise from the mitt. I turned around, and this left-arm Kameda-kun guy was looking at us and grinning boldly. Anyway, that's how it is. Now that it's come to this, we have no choice. We have to engage in real battle. Yeah! Looks like we have to get serious.
Yep, and then? We tried getting serious. But then Mii-chan went out with a bang.
Mion, embarrassed, scratched her head, then a moment later doubled over in pain. Went out with a bang. But how on earth did she end up getting injured like this?
It would take a really long time to explain. The one thing I can say is she came up empty even though she pushed herself that hard.
I should be yawning. I haven't been up for that long. I've been up for like 6 hours. Okay. I risked my life and couldn't even get 1 point.
Our secret plan did nothing, and now we're very sad.
I couldn't even imagine what sort of secret plan it was, but it must have been crazy enough to get her hurt that badly hurt. Still, though, we're still playing baseball thanks to you failing, right?
Yep. Maybe Mii-chan's last resort wasn't very baseball-like, I think. We have no other recourse now, do we? It means we need to settle the score front and center in a manner befitting a baseball game.
That's right. We have to settle it like baseball. I think normal people would have given up and gone for a frontal attack, but as a member of our club, I wasn't about to accept that so easily. Like baseball? I don't know. If we look at it like a baseball game, then we can't be picky, can we?
It is our club's creed, after all. That's correct. We can't be picky. That's the virtue of our club.
Rena and Satoko laughed to each other delightfully. It wasn't really a virtue we could brag about, but the best thing about our club was that we never rolled over and gave up.
But the cameras are all watching very closely, so it'll be hard to cheat.
Rika-chan spread her arms wide, indicating the array of reporters in the bleachers. She was right. With all those cameramen watching... Fuck. Why am I yawning so much? With all those cameramen watching us through those cameras with giant telephoto lenses, foul play would be fairly tough. Okay, I'll have a look afterwards. That's right. That's the bottleneck. Everyone's eyes are on us. We can't be too bold. Ow!
I never did think Mii-chan's ways were very ladylike, though.
Satoko and Rika-chan both nodded behind Rena. I wish I could just take the fucking yawns out of my mouth. Then let's get down to business. Our team is down 1 run right now.
Plus, it's the bottom of the 9th, and we already have 2 outs.
If this old man's plan had gone better, we'd have our bases loaded right about now.
There is no point in lamenting a failed plan. Our club never loses heart and always goes on to the next one.
Satoko said eagerly, trying to cheer up the downcast Mion, whose secret plan had failed. It may have failed, but Satoko still seemed to have another. Satoko, you seem pretty cheerful. Which means you've got something up your sleeve, huh?
Keiichi-kun, who do you think she is? It's Satoko-chan, you know.
I'm not tired. I've only been up for 6 hours. Let me tell you what I did today, okay? I woke up. I washed the dishes. I made dinner. I, like, watched videos for like an hour. And then I streamed. Like, I didn't even have breakfast. Because I was like, I'll be having dinner soon enough anyway. Because my sleep schedule's fucked. But, like, it's been worse. Like, I woke up at like 4:30 p.m. Like, that's not that bad. For me. I'm really not tired. Like, I've been up only a few hours. I don't know what it is. I think it's just from having eaten. My body is using a lot of energy to digest right now. Oh well.
It's Satoko-chan, you know? Satoko Hojo-chan.
That was right. We called her Trap Master Satoko, didn't we? She would ensnare her opponent at the perfect moment, the very end. Everyone in our club knew that we could never, ever let our guards down against Satoko. I may have taught her, but she's grown a lot and doesn't seem to want to stop. Sometimes even I'm astonished at how she overcomes such slim margins.
By the way, me bats next, then Satoko.
You were so hyper after the last stream, you stayed up till 11 and slept till 4 Gs. I didn't stay up that late. I went to bed at like... Actually, I tried to go to bed early last night, but it was a miserable experience and I couldn't sleep for like 3 hours. Like 2 hours. I think I tried to go to bed like 3 a.m., but I couldn't fall asleep until like 5. Even then, I don't need to... Like, 5 isn't even that bad. Like, I could just wake up earlier. But I get really lazy and I sleep in if I have nothing to do, so... Yeah. Tomorrow I should probably go shopping and do the laundry, so I should probably get up earlier. Even noon would be fine. Like, I wouldn't be upset with waking up at noon or 1 p.m., but 4 is a... Like, again, it's not as bad as it has been before when I was, like, at uni. During my later term, I had a really messed up schedule. But I would still like it to be a little earlier, by, like, a couple hours. We were losing by 1 point, so if you could get the next runner on a base, then the runner after that could hit a big one to end the match. And that final batter was Satoko? Oh, jeez. Pardon me.
See? You feel like we can win now, right?
I can't imagine what she's got set up, but it's got to be some kind of trap for sure. If I were the opposing pitcher, I'd definitely walk her. There was no way Satoko was going to hit a home run, even in my dreams. But if she was going to stand in the batter's box normally without any kind of plan, I can't think of anything else she could do. And the fact that you called me here... I see. I think I know where this is going. It meant that I was a necessary piece of Satoko's trap. You just have it until 3:04. Yeah, no, I usually go to bed sometime after midnight. I try not to go later than 3:04 if I can help it, but it happened. A couple days ago, I went to bed at 7 a.m. and I was like, fuck. But it's annoying, right? Because, like, for me, in my time zone, it's the best time to hang out with like, Josh and stuff. Like, I was on a call and we were... I think first they were doing Tomb Raider and then they were playing Final Fantasy 14. And, like, I wanted to hang out, so I didn't want to go to bed early.
I'm excited. I wonder what Satoko will do. I can't wait to see Satoko's walk-off home run either.
Kei-chan is indispensable for this. Understand? This is our last chance at creating an upset. We absolutely cannot fail! Right. That much I know for sure. Just watch! Satoko and I will give you all front row seats to the greatest turnaround victory of all time.
Then I'll explain your instructions, Kate-san. Lend me your ear for a moment.
Satoko and I huddled up in a hidden place and held a briefing that anyone watching could tell was suspicious. I wonder what Maebara-san and Hojo are talking about. I pray it's not some crazy trick like the one the president used. Our teammates, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, seemed very nervous. Adana gave them a wide smile, trying to dispel their anxiety.
It'll be okay, everyone. Satoko-chan and Keiichi-kun will be able to pull this off for us.
But, Ryogu-san, we're up against a Koshien pitcher. I don't know if Satoko's traps will be much good. What's the time for me right now? 10:35, yeah. Now, everyone, be silent and watch. You're gonna get to see an interesting game. Mion, who knew everything about to transpire, looked like she was having a hard time stifling the laughter bubbling up within her. She was so terrifying as an enemy, but so reliable as an ally. Mion waved her hands at the umpire. We've got a pinch hitter! I, Mion Sonozaki, am switching out with Keiichi Maebara. Are you sure he'll be alright? The umpire turned an uneasy gaze on the pinch hitter who had jumped in with a golf club.
Don't underestimate Keiichi-kun now.
The members of our club were the only ones grinning with wholehearted confidence. Satoko's plan was definitely simple, but scrupulous. It even looked like the entire situation had gone according to her calculations. The fact that we were losing by 1 point, the fact that I had come late, the fact that Satoko was the last batter. It even felt kind of like this had been set up before the game even started. Right, because you're in Germany, right? Yeah. There had been a long time out since I got here, and during that time the opposing pitcher, Kameda-kun, took a bathroom break. Even that felt calculated. No, this is Satoko we're talking about, so maybe she gave him a laxative somehow, calculated to get him to use the bathroom at this exact moment. And while he was a long way off, shut up in the bathroom, our plan would begin. The opposing pitcher, Kameda-kun. There he was! In front of the urinal, pleasantly taking care of business. He thought it was only natural he would win at a grass lot game like this, and relax enough to relieve himself without a care in the world. Maybe that's how he wanted to appear. However, his relaxed state was itself our chance. Right now, you've already conceded to our club! I, too, casually walked into the bathroom. There were 3 urinals. Kameda-kun was doing his business at the farthest one. I went to the one next to him. Power move! Normally, you would leave one urinal open. Kameda-kun seemed to notice me. I'd stood right next to him, after all. What? Look who it is, the big pinch hitter. He recalled seeing me swing the golf club around like an idiot, and he couldn't seem to resist the urge to laugh. I, however, wasn't frustrated in the slightest. The match had already been won the moment I arrived. The game had been decided as a big upset for our team, so now all I had to do was push things along exactly how Satoko planned. I'm the one who should be laughing.
I wonder if Keiichi-kun can do it. He'll be fine. When Keiichi-san is serious, he can do this much before breakfast.
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, our underclassmen, asked another question with much trepidation. Is Maebara-san really going to be able to beat that pitcher?
You don't feel any confidence in Kei-chan after being in the same class with him? Someday he could be strong enough to control all of humanity. Join Kei-chan and you could easily rule the world.
The world? Our teammates exchanged glances. Did Maebara-senpai really have such incredible strength? Just what kind of strength could that be? My question caused Kameda-kun to stare in bewilderment, and for a moment he didn't know what to say. Sorry, I don't think I heard you right. Could you say that again? I smiled thinly, looked straight ahead, and said it once more, clearly. I'll say it one more time. Let us win. Right to the point. No threats or beating around the bush or anything. Kameda's brain couldn't figure out the meaning of what I'd said, and I could clearly tell he was confused. What are you, some kind of moron? Let you win? Are you insane? I've relayed our demands. What's your reply? Yes or no? It goes without saying. Like hell I'll let you win. Is your brain broken? Kameda didn't hide its bewilderment. He didn't want to be around someone who would babble on like this for another second. Those thoughts spilled into his expression, and he quickly moved to leave the bathroom. Kameda-kun, what does victory mean for you? That's a dumb question. Priceless, absolute supremacy. Nothing else can change it. He grinned lightly as he answered, as if to make fun of me. How like a sportsman to say that. Victory decides all. No one can change that. Of course not. No matter what kind of threats or bribes you come to me with, there's nothing valuable enough to make me abandon victory. I was waiting for those words. I, after spinning around 3.5 times, pointed right at Kameda's face. Then don't you think you should ask? Something worth abandoning your precious victory for? What kind of compensation you could be given? What are you saying, stupid? There's nothing that can make me do that. He was denying it, but he stopped. He stopped! He was waiting. He was waiting for me to present some attractive conditions. In a magazine interview, you said your favorite foods are grilled meat, and that you don't like sweets. But you lied about that, didn't you? What? For example, let's say you went to a grilled meat buffet. What exactly would be on your plate? Pork loin, Korean barbecue, a pile of beef tongue? That wouldn't be it. You wouldn't bring meat with you. It would be all the pudding and gelatin and cake you could eat! The kinds a girl would love. Pretty, cute, and sweet! You love Western treats like that, don't you? Kameda's face turned utterly pale. Our club already knew that he ate a mountain of desserts when he went to the grilled meat buffet, and we were well aware of his embarrassment at his weakness for sweets despite his age. Kameda-kun couldn't possibly have known that the particular grilled meat buffet chain in Shishibone was owned by a member of the Sonozaki family. I'll have to be careful when I go out to eat with my parents from now on. No! I love the hearty bone-in! No! What you like is gentle, soft, cute piles of desserts topped with colorful creams! It almost makes you think of a girl adorned in frills and ribbons, pure ignorance of shame. Cute desserts like those girls, so clear and clean. And with your acne-laden face, your sports cut, and your lust in full display, you sully them! Crunch, crunch, munch, munch! Ah! Shut up! That's right! You eat desserts, but you don't love them. You just dirty them, violate them, and chew them. All you do is relish in the enjoyment of soiling them. Yeah! Please, no more! My secret pleasure has been found out! I can't go on living! I have to die! You idiot! Don't end your life so easily! Slam! I hit him on the side of his head as hard as I could. Kameda-kun fell down like a girl. His eyes started watering and he broke down. I'm probably the only one in the world who thinks those things while eating desserts. I'm nothing but a pervert pretending to be a proper sportsman. That's right. You're a pervert. Yeah! This time I didn't hit him. Instead, I clapped my hands down onto his shoulders. Do not cry, Kameda! What's wrong with a man being a pervert? Dun dun. A man ought to be a pervert, but admitting it sets a man apart from those below him. You've been honest to yourself. You can brag about that. You can be arrogant about it. You can be proud of yourself. Instead of blaming him, I told him to have pride in himself, and Kameda-kun couldn't hide his confusion. Yes, I have been deeply moved by what you've shown me. Desserts are nothing but sweet foods eaten after meals. That's what I thought this whole time. But I was mistaken! And you showed me that! Thanks to you, I can... Starting tomorrow, I'll be able to enjoy my desserts in a completely different way! For example, strawberry shortcake. Strawberry shortcake. Kameda's throat cried out. The simplicity of strawberry shortcake, indeed. It's somehow old-fashioned, like the orthodox maids from the gaudy times of the late 1800s. Not those flirty maids with the short skirts we have now. An orthodox, fully dressed, authentic maid. It's just strawberries, but please, master, I could not prepare any more than this, so please give them a taste. That kind of honesty is unbelievably great! Please give them a taste. It's such a turn-on! A turn-on? Because there are only strawberries. The soft, accented cream decorations ends up looking like frills, lace, and embroidery. And she takes it and splits it with her fork for her master, an elegant aristocrat. No, it would be wilder if she took it and sucked on it vulgarly like her bad master in his greasy sweat. More than that, the dent in the strawberry after plucking it, isn't that even better? And you let your tongue crawl over it. What kind of taste must that be? The dent after you pick the strawberry. I can't hold it in anymore. I'll go to Angel Mort on the way home and just gaze at that shortcake until I'm sated. The girl's dressed up beautifully just for me. I draw ever closer to the trembling maidens, and then, one by one, I show them. For every one I eat, I hold my jaw tight, just like this, and appraise the goods, wondering who to go for next. You can never look at a strawberry cake the same way as before. Please translate girls as cake, alright? Keiichi-kun seems to be talking about cake combination platters. Emphasis mine. As if cherishing each one, I hold my jaw tight like this, and... Has there ever been a man such as this who could speak so passionately about a single piece of strawberry shortcake? No, there has not. There has never been, I say. Such passionate feelings are trying to melt away the stubbornness in Kameda's mind. Kameda, I'll say it one more time. Let us win. But that would... Then fine. I won't rely on you. I rejected Kameda outright and turned on my heel. Oh, goddammit. Fuck. I need to screenshot that for Josh. Enough! We've lost this game. It's over. I don't care about it anymore. Instead, once this game is over, why don't I head down to Angel Mort and get all you can eat of those lovely young ladies decorated like Western dolls in frills and ribbons? Tonight will be the greatest feast I have ever known! All you can eat. Thud! Despite this being the bathroom, Kameda-kun put both his hands on the floor. I was wrong! What's wrong, Kameda-kun? If you have something to say, then say it! This is the first time I've met someone Someone like you! Until now, I've always thought something was wrong with me, and I had to have fun secretly. Oh, you can eat drywall at Home Depot. What are you waiting for, you tiny man? I already said, admitting your perversion is what separates the boys from the men. You are a man entitled to pride. Now, reach out your hand and show me how great you really are. Come with me and accept that it is our world. Clap! Kameda-kun was crying tears of gratitude, unable to speak. That was the moment we exchanged the most zealous handshake the world has ever known. The handshake of the bond of our souls, ardent and intense, tight and steadfast. For a long time we remained that way. It was an enthusiastic handshake, as though we were two brothers separated at birth, embracing each other tightly as though it would give us back the time we had spent apart. Someone who understands the true pleasure of defiling desserts like they are innocent maidens, and is not afraid to admit it, is proud of their perversion. That was the moment the man who would pass into legend for eating so much during Angel Mort's all-you-can-eat dessert day that he was banned from the restaurant forevermore was born. He would eventually write in his autobiography that our meeting this day was fate, but none of that had anything to do with this. Then, until later. For now, just play the game the way I described it. With just that, I turned on my— fuck's sake, Keiichi! No. Oh, I didn't know I could press space to make the text disappear. That's useful. But then Kameda-kun stopped me. What? Oh, wait! At least tell me your name! Who, me? My name is Keiichi Maebara. No. I kind of didn't feel like using my real name. Anyway, maybe I should lie to him and use a code name. Just call me K. K. Wait, was that actually an embarrassing name? I left the bathroom behind me at a quick pace, hiding my embarrassment. But from what I heard later, I apparently looked quite gallant coming out like that. Next time you're at bakery, you're gonna order cake and tell the cashier you're gonna violate the cake.
Satoko to Keiichi-san, how did things go?
Keiichi to Satoko. Negotiations successful. We settled on he and I getting all-you-can-eat dessert at Angel Mort. Mion, no problem, right? 2 guests for Angel Mort's all-you-can-eat dessert. Roger that. I'll set it up.
I'm actually quite interested in how you negotiated with him. They had a really fun talk about how delicious dessert is, probably. How?
After that, the game started again. I entered the batter's box as a pinch hitter in place of Mion, but all of the pieces were already in place. Vroom! The straight pitch whipped by me like a bullet, true to its name. The camera people raised their voices in wonder and clicked their shutters. A sharp pitch as always! He's really going places this summer, isn't he? That golf club pinch hitter is standing straight up, too. Hehe. But doesn't Kameda-kun look a little strange? It's like he's got a cold sweat. I patted my shoulders with my bat, then sneered at him in a relaxed voice. What's wrong, Kameda-kun? Not feeling well today? Why didn't he have a Sprite in the bathroom? The fuck? Okay. I couldn't swing at the ball because I was too busy laughing at it. Was that all you got? You little... I was standing in front of the door. I mean, this was... The whole thing was Satoko's plan in the first place. They just needed Keiichi to go to the bathroom and, and talk to him. So they probably, like... I imagine that, at the very least, Satoko, Rena, and Mion were in on it. They might have kept Rika out of it. Boom! The next pitch, with the same incredible speed as before, it curved sharply and should have thrown off the batter's skill. But Keiichi didn't move at all. He just watched coolly. You don't need any little tricks on a straight pitch, Kameda-kun. Do people fall for those curves a lot? Batters around here, that is. Both the reporters and all the people watching noticed something was strange here. Was Oshima's Kameda, the pitcher who conquered Koshien, losing the mental battle? The next straight pitch had incredible speed again, but it went a little wild. It was a ball. I snorted, not even bothering to get ready for it. What, Kameda-kun? Scared of going right down the middle? Everyone calls you the best. You'd never walk the batter. Shit. Murmur. The abnormal, unexpected situation spread confusion throughout the reporters. What is he? Who is this Keiichi Maebara? How can he be so relaxed when faced with that supreme fastball? He's just bluffing. He knows he can't win. Kameda would never throw a ball that an insincere guy like that could hit. No, I don't think it's a bluff. They say that at a high level you can see right through others. Kameda is without a doubt one of the best. Which must mean he can see through to that mysterious man's true value. A really business person looking guy took off his sunglasses and gazed upon Keiichi. Is this? Could it be? The idiot pinch hitter who came in cheering them on with a golf club was actually a genius? I'm sure baseball has long since lost its charm for him, and now he's trying to switch over to golf. A genius slugger making a transfer into the golf world. What a tremendous loss for baseball. Stop the presses. We're changing up our sports columns. Ball! Now it's a full count. This excessive production was, of course, all being dramatized by Satoko. The big shots constantly had their eyes on Kameda-kun. If he were to lose easily, they knew the match would have to have been fixed. Perhaps she wanted this little play of ours to create a mood where it wouldn't be strange for Kameda-kun to lose, but... Satoko. Isn't this going too far?
Do your best now, Keiichi-san. Today, this game, tomorrow, all of baseball!
I don't want any scouts actually coming after me. I'm terrified of what would happen when the jig is up. Wait, I can't be making nervous faces right now. Ball! Base on balls. Have you gotten scared, Kameda-kun? I thought you were better than this. Kameda-kun hung his head in feigned dejection. Kei-san, I did all this according to plan, right? Yeah. Well done, Kameda-kun. Keep going like this for the next batter. Let's wrap this thing up, and then... We'll go get all we can eat. Grin. Kameda-kun and I exchanged evil smiles. For some reason, there were a lot of camera flashes right then. It seemed like our dear journalist friends took it as two worthy rivals smiling to acknowledge each other's strength. As I trotted over to first base, the camera flashes continued, almost to the point where they were annoying. When I got to first base, one of the reporters came over for an interview. Maebara-kun, do you plan on settling the score with Kameda-kun and Koshien? Ugh, things seemed like they were about to get too big for me. Maybe I should just be honest and confess I'm not really into baseball. Koshien? I've never been interested in Japanese baseball. Sorry. Whoa! This man, right from the start, he was always aiming for the world! He might become Japan's first ever big leaguer. What? The conversation was getting fantastically out of hand. Oh, I don't care anymore. I'll strike a guts pose for the camera as a desperation. Yes! Kei-chan got on base, just as planned.
Next, Satoko-chan is at bat. What will she do? What will she do? All right then. Time to get that walk-off home run and win it all.
Satoko stepped up to the plate, waving the bat around. The reporters couldn't hold back their laughter, maybe because they had just seen his battle with me. Maebara-kun finally got on base, but now it's all over. I see, so this is why Kameda-kun intentionally walked him. He didn't even fight it. He waited for an easier opponent for the final out. But to avoid a direct confrontation like that, we cannot make light of him. That Keiichi Maebara.
All right. Come on now, Kameda-san.
You making fun of me? Who do you think I am, anyway? Kiss... No! Maebara-san was one thing, but you think I'll lose to the likes of you? Whenever this girl stepped out to bat, she had swung wildly and missed, striking out every time. This might sound rude, but however much Kameda-kun holds back, I don't think she'll be able to hit a home run. I could hear the reporters declaring that there was no way a comeback would happen. Wait, what? Satoko, she swung wildly and missed every single time she stepped up to bat? She swung after the sound had ended, completely mistiming it. I could hear disappointed voices coming from those rooting for Hinamizawa. It's only natural. Every single batter has struck out. Even if worst came to worst, no one would get a hit. That's why it didn't sound strange when Kameda-kun said this. I can't take it seriously with someone like you. I'll give you a chance. I'll throw the next one slow and underhanded. I'll let you get a hit or two so you can go home and brag to mommy. Of course, these lines were all part of the plot, too. From out of the corner of his eye, Kameda-kun gives me a look. Was that all right? Yeah, you did great. Looked very natural. Kameda, you're a splendid actor. No, compared to Kei-san, I'm nothing. Even that exchange was seen as heated and enthusiastic by the reporters. But Kei-san, however slowly I pitch, can this girl really hit it? Don't worry, and throw the ball like we planned. I think I've got a good idea of how this will turn out. Our exchange over, Kameda-kun moved from set position into a pitching stance.
Come then. Throw your merciful pitch. I'll hit a huge home run off of it.
She'd struck out every time she was at bat. When I heard that, my vague ideas became firm beliefs. And out of Kameda-kun's hand comes a slow, lazy pitch, as though they were playing catch. Normal people would probably be able to hit it, but for Satoko, who had been striking out the whole time, just when people started to think that way, the members of our club had already realized that Satoko's trap had begun. It was true. Striking out constantly today had all been laying the groundwork for this moment. An act. All to make it feel like Kameda-kun letting off the gas wasn't strange at all. Which meant, in other words, that Satoko... Whoa! She got it! Look at it go!
I don't even need to run, do I?
The super huge home run Satoko hit disappeared over the roof of the school. The reporters lost their words at the sight. And then, roars of applause! Despite this being what we'd anticipated, I can't help but stare in mute amazement at the gorgeous home run. Satoko strutted over to first base.
Come on, what are you doing, Kate-san? Second base is that way.
Satoko, you're really good at baseball. Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines in reply. Come to think of it, she played baseball a lot with Tomita-kun and the others during lunch, didn't she? The fact that they always invited her to play meant she was by no means bad at it. And you purposely struck out all those times? Since before Kameda-kun even got here? Geez, you really got something for every occasion.
I say this all the time, do I not? I only have one trap. And when everything is about to come to a conclusion, it's enough that I don't even have to worry.
Damn it, that sounded kind of cool. Basically, she was just bragging about hitting the ball. But when Satoko did it, it looked so cool. We crossed home plate in order, me, then Satoko, and completed our walk-off home run. Our teammates welcomed us back with their blessings. Maebara-san, that was amazing, totally cool. I never thought it would happen. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun praised me. How about that, Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun? I turned things around just fine.
Lena thinks you were cool too. Good work.
Ah, it was nothing. I briskly clapped my hand against Rena's outstretched palm.
Satoko did brilliantly too. She gave us a spectacular ending. Who do you think I am?
Man, can't underestimate her. Satoko Hojo. Kei-chan was great too.
winning Kameda over like that. He is a magician of words. Rika-chan, I don't think that's a compliment. But really, only Kate-san could have pulled off such a drastic move. I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. I would very much like you to teach me sometime. I mean, Keiichi is extremely good at bullshitting. If Satoko learned such displays of power, that's terrifying to even imagine. I prefer it if you didn't mimic me. After declaring the match over, the umpire came to us. Well, I never. You actually won. I'm shocked. We said Satoko could hit, didn't we? You didn't believe us at all. The umpire scratched his head apologetically and apologized to Satoko, smiling dryly. And Keiichi-kun was amazing too, wasn't he? Keiichi-kun is actually the most reliable person here. Well, when I saw him come in with that golf club, I certainly had my doubts, but... that breathtaking battle against Kameda-kun had me on the edge of my seat. Right, that breathtaking farce. I quirked a wry smile. Not even the Buddha would have realized that while everyone thought this was a fair match, Kameda-kun and I were thinking about our evil, dessert-violating ways. Excuse me, coach. Bullshitting and doing unspeakable things to King. Excuse me, coach. You remember your promise, do you not? Yeah, this is... guess I have no choice. We did it! We did it! Keiichi-kun, this means we're having a barbecue meetup tomorrow! Then I clapped our hands and we all began to dance with joy. Tomita-kun and our other teammates were jumping up and down too. What's that about? A barbecue meetup? Hey, wait up, what on earth are you talking about? We made a promise that if we won today's game, he'd treat us to a barbecue party with all kinds of high-class meats. It wasn't looking good for a while when Kameda-kun appeared, but thanks to Kate-san, we've won that privilege. I see, so that's what this was about. It was certainly not a game we could have lost. Irie's big wallet will be so sad, so sad. You're right about that, but I did make a promise. When we eat, we do it without any mercy. We need to feed our growing bodies, after all. Alright, everyone. Tomorrow we dine like kings. Yeah! All the members of the Hinamizawa fighters raised their fists high in the air and cheered. Rika-chan was petting the head of the umpire, who was smiling painfully at the off-kilter remarks. He gave her his head, and he looked like he was about to cry. Looked like the price of victory would be pretty big. You beat me, but I have no choice since I promised. I guess I should go shopping for some meat. Coach, get some grade A beef like you promised. We won't forgive you if you buy nothing but vegetables to keep it cheap. The umpire, whom they were calling Coach, grinned dryly, crestfallen. Umpire? Coach? The uniform he was wearing had Hinamizawa Fighters written on it. Oh, so he's not just the umpire. He was actually our team's coach. Maebara-kun, is that alright? Can I call you that? Huh? Yeah. This comeback wouldn't have happened were it not for you getting on base. Please, come to tomorrow's barbecue. No, besides that, would you please consider joining the team? If you were with us, we could dominate the whole prefecture. Coach, let's leave that aside for now. You should be more worried about your wallet.
Despite the coach being an adult, everyone seemed to get along very well with him. Coach, huh? Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Irie, coach of the Hinamizawa Fighters. He extended his hand to me. I firmly grasped it with my own in reply. I'm Maebara. Nice to meet you. Then the coach took his other hand and began to stroke mine softly. What smooth hands you have. Such a narrow grain, and you truly take good care of them. Ah, silky smooth. Huh? Hey, wait! What kind of hairspray he uses? I think those are just supposed to be bangs. I must strictly instruct our maids to take this good care of their skin as well. And punish the bad ones who don't. Maids? What are you talking about? Such velvety hands. I just want to put them to work. The coach's eyes were spellbound, and as his delusions floated through his very own original magical universe, he made a supremely satisfied smile. How do I put this? Who the hell is this guy? You look so flustered.
Our coach is a little strange. But he's really funny, you know? You know?
I felt like you couldn't measure him by saying strange or funny. I really didn't think we'd get along. Snap! The other self in my mind made a witty retort for some reason.
Come on! Settle down already. You're making Kate-san uncomfortable.
Silky smooth. The coach didn't try to take his hands off mine until Satoko hit him with a threefold wash bucket attack, causing him to faint. Hey, Aramis. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Achievement unlocked. New Horizons. Shows a picture of the cake. Satoko's trap course advanced. It was a peaceful lunch break. Thud, clatter, splash! What? What was that?
I just heard something really loud from the hallway. What was it? What was it?
We rushed into the hallway, and to our surprise, Coach was there with a water bucket overturned on his head.
Coach, are you okay?
Man, you sure got me. Hello, everyone. Coach greets us, cool and calm. What's going on, Coach? You don't come to school very much. Well, I do come here once a week as part of my job. It had been quiet here for a while, but I totally let my guard down.
Satoko-chan's little tricks always come when you least expect them. Will you be okay in those clothes?
Oh, I'm fine. I was just thinking of taking a nice bath, so this is actually cooling me off.
You sure are calm, Coach. In fact, you never get mad. It really makes you come off as an adult.
She was right. If I were Coach, I would have started running around with the bucket still on my head looking for her. His adult way of not getting mad at every little child's prank was admirable. Listen, Maebara-san. With things like this, changing your perspective just a little can make it either irritating or pleasant. It's all about how you react to it. If there's some secret trick to staying so calm after getting hit in the head with a bucket filled with water, then I'm begging you, tell me. For example, let's say there was this old and traditional family dating back to the Meiji era. Okay. And let's say they had many maids under their employ. Being a large house, of course, they have all kinds of maids, from the veteran ones who turn mean and don't want to give up their jobs, to the young ones full of energy. See, can you imagine that? Yes. Yes. A space filled with dreamy maids in pink and peach, adorned with frills and headbands, with Coach at their center, began to spread out before me. Hope things are going well. Oh, what the... I literally saw that post already, and then looked at it again, and I'm like, this is a new post. Nope. The newer maids, with all their youthful vitality, giving everything they have to please their master, but the older maids won't allow that to happen. They find fault with everything they do, bullying them and tormenting them all day long. Look, there's still so much dust here. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do it over. Splash. A bucket falls upside down on the maid. She's soaking wet and she wants to cry, but she still puts on a brave face. Ha, ha, maids.
I don't get it, but it sounds fun. Maybe Elena should be a maid too. Ah, geez, stop. You're even infected Elena. And you, Kei-chan. Don't go getting lost forever in Coach's world. If not for this character trait, Coach would be a good person too.
One Satoko Hojo-san sighted. I say, Satoko-san, what is this? I say, look at all this dust. I say, it's time for you to be punished. What? Nya! Coach plucked Satoko up and started giving her a spanking. Jesus Christ.
Satoko-chan, you're so cute.
Satoko can put traps together with such brilliant predictions. It's so strange how she can predict the very end, though.
Is it? I think Satoko-chan wanted this to happen. She wanted it.
Satoko wanted this outcome? What do you mean by that?
When she plays pranks on people like this, they always get mad and chase her around. Don't you think it's like a form of communication?
Sounds like a terrible way to communicate. Don't people normally say hello to each other?
Oh, Keiichi-kun, haven't you heard of it before? People who play lots of pranks are actually lonely and want people to pay attention to them.
Elena gave a cool smile and, laughing abruptly, explained.
That's what I mean. If Satoko-chan plays a trick on someone, she wants them to get mad or laugh and chase her. It's kind of like a kitty biting you softly. Don't you think it's cute? They will definitely be surprised right here and jump backwards. So if I put it in this spot, it'll work for certain.
Satoko, regaling us with her trap philosophy, was improving the already brutal trap hell on the mountain. If Elena was right and her traps are to get people to pay attention to her, then all these traps on the mountain are basically a crystallized form of those feelings. Alone with Rika-chan, setting up trap after trap after trap in the mountains. Always waiting for someone to fall into them. But nobody needed to come to this mountain in the first place. Without a doubt, she and Rika-chan had spent a lot of time imagining how victims caught in their traps would react. Satoko, separated for so long from her beloved nii-nii, Satoshi. With her stubbornness, she never once said that she wanted him to come home. But all the traps sleeping on the mountain told me how Satoko really felt.
Kate-san, are you listening?
Oh, sorry about that. What did you say?
All you have to do is pound one nail into the tree trunk like this, and it's already a great trap. If you trip up right here and smack your forehead into it, it would really hurt.
A human hammer pushing a nail into your forehead. Yeah, that sounds painful.
If it was someone really, really evil, this trap could put them to death. I do so look forward to seeing what sort of villain gets caught by it.
Why do you keep glancing at me like that? Are you saying you want me to fall for it? I could get really badly hurt, you know. Maybe you shouldn't be using this trap.
Is that so? Well, it is true that I can't use traps without love behind them. Then I'll just move the nail here so that if the villain really reforms their behavior, they won't get caught by it.
Satoko immersed herself in adjusting the nail's position. Traps of love, huh? Maybe Coach was right. Just by reacting a little differently, everything changes. Kind of think of it, maybe you can feel humor and warmth even when Satoko's traps get you.
All finished! No, it's absolutely perfect where it is. What do you think, kid-san?
Yeah. It's perfect. I hope a villain comes along and gets caught by this trap.
No, of course it would be better if that didn't happen.
It looked a little painful, but I considered coming here sometime and getting caught in it. Alright then, I'm off.
Look out for cars.
Ow.
Be back before dinner time.
Ow, my finger. Today was the day of the barbecue party that was the Hinamizawa Fighters' victory celebration. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Though with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. Rana was already at our usual meeting place. You've been hit by, you've been struck by a truck. There isn't a postal 4, is there? What the fuck? Rana was already at our usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later.
Great. Let's get going. This old man skipped breakfast and is starving to death.
I expected nothing less. I too went without breakfast and am now in top physical condition.
Wow, you two. Skipping breakfast is bad for your health. But then I made sure to eat something.
Yeah, you're great, Radana. Breakfast is an important part of the day. I'm sure you'll surpass that underdeveloped Mion. Get yourself a nice sexy body and be all over the dirty magazines.
How? The dirty magazines? If I get a nice body, then maybe a prince on a white horse will come for Rena too. For Rena too.
Definitely not happening. If you won't take responsibility for them, Kei-chan, then don't give Rena any silly ideas. She might start eating breakfast 3 times a day starting tomorrow. Yeah, I could see Rena doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was going to come for her? Well, anyway, we're all nice and hungry. Let's go and treat ourselves at the big barbecue party.
Yeah!
The venue for said barbecue was to be the Hudade Shrine Grounds where Rika-chan lived. They held events and festivals there, and barbecues too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamizawa. Come to think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something? The scenery you could see from that high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere particular to shrines was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. When we arrived on the shrine grounds, the Hinamizawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and begun setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Satoko and Rika-chan were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us.
Oh, so you managed not to forget about this. Curses, if you all hadn't come, then there would have been that much more meat for me. How truly disappointing it is.
You underestimate us, Satoko. Now that we've arrived, you don't think you'll be able to have even one bite of that fabulously marbled beef, do you? Remember when we ate our bento here? You and I have a fatal difference in reach. I'll be overwhelming you once again.
What? I cannot allow that to happen by any means.
Cry and shout all you want. You'll just be watching us fill our mouths with beef. Don't worry though, we'll give the peppers and onions to you.
I'll give Satoko lots and lots of the grilled squash, too.
When Satoko heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't just a threat. It could actually happen. I'll go tell the coach. I'll tell him you really love squash. If it's for you, I bet he'll get a whole mountain of specialty squash from all over Japan. Wow, good for you, Satoko. You'll have your pick of the squash. You can have squash from dawn till dusk, 3 meals a day. Everyone's bullying me! Satoko tried to leap into Rena's chest. Oh no, clearly given another second, Rena's mock punches would have us piled on the ground. So just before Satoko hit Rena, I grabbed her by the nape of the neck and pulled her back. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Rena, when I caught the leaping, crying Satoko, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. Bam, bam, bam!
Hello! No, Kichikun. This is Rena's, okay? I'm taking her home. Rena-san! Beat up Mion-san and Rika like that, too. Whoa! Hold on there! Yeah!
Bam, bam, bam.
Okay. Now where could Rika be? There she is. Rena-san, over there. Just wait, Satoko-chan. I'll take care of her right away. Then I'm bringing you straight home. Meep! Meep! Satoko, you're mean. Oh.
Sharing is caring.
Rika-chan's so cute, too. Oh, I'm gonna take her home. Rika, it serves you right.
Satoko laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Rena's unproductive game of tag while we watched them sprawled out on the ground. Are you alright, Maebara-san? Sonozaki-san? The coach came over and lent us a hand. Yeah, this is just how we communicate, that's all. Don't mind us. If the way we communicate ends up leaving bruises on my face, then I don't want any more to do with it. You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. It made us start to laugh, too. Satoko's laughter, Rika-chan's yelling, and Rena's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. The adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the salad oil dripped down onto the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we all cheered again.
Wow, this meat looks amazing. Coach, you really did splurge on it.
I did make a promise. Can you tell how much all of this weighs? It really did cost me a lot.
Of course it did. Third-rate meat wouldn't be enough of a reward for everything I did yesterday. Yeah. Satoko-chan's definitely the guest of honor today.
Yeah, Satoko was the one who hit that last home run after all. She might have caught the guy off guard, but the arc it flew was long and true.
Satoko is pretty athletic.
Not bad at all. She could be one of the best of our generation. She doesn't fall behind in physical ability even compared to me.
Maybe Satoko-chan has a big future in the world of sports. Stop singing my praises. You're making me blush. Munch, munch, munch.
Satoko, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute.
Maibara-san. This is heavy!
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate. Whoa! The barbecue's protagonist has arrived! The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. The grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzled off. You needed a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they grilled the whole plate at once.
Yep, can't have a barbecue without some of these.
You can say that again. I'll help out, so let's get it over here. Up we go!
Wow! Look, look! It's amazing!
Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and big pieces of meat on it. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. Damn, now I want barbecue. I'm gonna message my mom and ask her if we can have a barbecue. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. In left was a cup of juice that I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you weren't a man. Meat and juice. Oh, I can't hold back any longer! I'm gobbling it down! Gobble, gobble!
Not just yet, Kei-chan. We got a little ceremony first.
Can I have your attention, everyone? The coach, with a cup of beer in his hand, mounted the nearby beer cooler. This was supposed to be a victory celebration, after all. We needed an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. For every second this goes on for, a little more of the food's freshness goes away. No! Satoko stomped down onto the back of my foot.
My word! Men your age are so greedy.
Kichi Turkey TF. Fuck, wrong window. Oh my god.
Can you not wait a little more elegantly?
Is everything I'm thinking really showing on my face? You speak it out loud, dumbass. Okay, is everyone listening? We won a huge game yesterday. It had become a hard battle after that amazing pitcher came in. But thanks to equally reliable saviors on our side, we scored a beautiful turnaround victory. Clap, clap, clap. Both my hands were full, so the adults and other brothers gave us a round of applause. This is to celebrate that victory. As promised, I got a ton of delicious meat for everyone. Eat as much as you want and use that energy on our next game. Then, after a few words of thanks to the fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led us in a toast. Cheers! They say that when toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup. But we were young! At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. After that, it got really lively, with everyone congratulating one another for things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshien pitcher. Well, even what I did was all thanks to Satoko. Satoko did have a plan. But you're the only one who could have won over Kameda like you did, Kei-chan. You did more than enough to deserve praise.
By the way, Keiichi-kun, you went to eat cake with Kameda-kun after that, didn't you? You look like you're best friends.
The seeds of friendship sprouting between male rivals. Something like that?
That's sort of... well, it's... How...
I violently brushed through Lena's hair as she turned red in the face, for some reason, at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. Now then, where's the hero, or rather the heroine, Satoko? Oh, there she is. Satoko was with Rika-chan in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday, and her teammates spared no compliment for her, since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from a Koshien pitcher was something else. Satoko was more loquacious than usual. It seemed she was in a great mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her, but she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Satoko going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. But both of those were the real Satoko. I didn't care which it was, her smiling happily or making a big lively fuss like this. Just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever. She looks like she's having fun. Quite a lot of it. The coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed at Satoko from afar, like I had been doing, he addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her. Doesn't it just cleanse your soul to see Satoko-chan smiling? He smiled, refreshed, searching for confirmation. I felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment, I played it off. Really? I don't think her smile could cleanse so much as a plate. Isn't Yami now? She's a Fujoshi. I'm sure Satoko-chan would be mad if she heard that. But that part of her is very cute, too. Leaving her cuteness aside, I can understand him thinking Satoko getting angry for being teased would be funny. Mr. Irie, was it? Irie. It's Irie. Everyone else calls me Coach, though. I'd be very happy if you called me Coach as well, Maebara-san. As he said that, Coach Irie smiled, blushing a little. Coach, you seem to like Satoko a lot. I didn't have any real basis for saying that. It was just what I felt to be true. Yes, I do like her. I love her, in fact. When she gets older, I'm thinking of asking her to marry me. What? This guy really says some insane stuff, doesn't he? After being astonished by this, I hurried to put my mind back in order. I had heard that this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. If I was able to ignore that part of him, he seemed like he'd be a really funny guy. Maebara-san, did that surprise you? Could it be you're going after Satoko-chan yourself? That would bother me then. I've been going after her for decades now, you know. Coach, Satoko hasn't even been alive for much more than a decade. Coach gave a dry grin and laughed. Was this how I should be doing it? I must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. After that, I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. As that conversation was happening, leaving aside the controversial statements this coach person would spout suddenly, I learned he was very composed and not a bad guy by any stretch. I think Satoko deserves more praise for that crazy home run she got. I honestly didn't think she had it in her. Satoko-chan's older brother was more the quiet bookworm type. She probably inherited the exact opposite skill set. Her brother? Right, he meant Satoshi, the one who left Satoko and ran away from home. Satoko's nii-nii. Keiichi's not going after Satoko, he's into Oichi. Yeah, clearly. Satoshi Hojo. I don't actually want to, like, dispel any ships, because people can ship whatever they want, but I think the writing team have gone on record saying that, like, in the future, after the story's over, they would canonically be Keiichi and Mion. They would get together. But yeah. Do you not know about him? Satoko-chan's older brother, I mean. There's certain supplementary material that takes place after the story that also kind of supports that, by the way. But yeah. Do you not know about him? Satoko-chan's older brother, I mean. His name is Satoshi Hojo-kun. And he played with the Hinamizawa Fighters, too. I wanted him to play a lot more, but then he transferred. Huh? I see. So he transferred. Yeah, maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. Now that he mentioned it, I think it was Rena. I think she said Satoshi transferred too. I didn't know the details of him having run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but... Only her brother transferred? That's sort of unusual. Everyone having fun was far away, and their cheerful voices distant. The chorus of the cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear, but for a really long time Coach didn't respond to my words, so at this point I began to wonder if I'd said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke. Something unfortunate happened. A few things, actually. After informing me that what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk, a little at a time. It's been 3 years already. Right around this time of year, I think. Satoko-chan's parents were in an accident. An accident? Yes. At a public park they visited while on vacation, they fell from a viewing platform. It was supposed to just be a little time away from the house with the family. They went for a walk on a path through a nature park after it had rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage on which the tragedy was set. The metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time, and with all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Satoko's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There was a river some tens of meters below. The water level was high due to the rain, and apparently very muddy. And her parents... Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile and touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate that accident was, and how Satoko's parents had left on an eternal vacation. Then Satoko is... Well, I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. A single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Satoko without having to say it aloud. Come to think of it, Satoko lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from others. Wait, Rika-chan, her father died from illness too, and her mother soon after. I felt like I heard she was living by herself. Yes, she's living with Higurashi-san right now. They've probably lived many discouraging days without any parents, but they've gotten along by helping each other. Going on living without the protection of parents is very difficult for kids that age, I think. Maibara-san, you can probably understand that as well. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. I've only survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod. Furude-san is particularly beloved by the older people in the village. As long as she's here, she won't want for much. Come to think of it, you're right. Rika-chan kind of seems like the village mascot sometimes. I don't think she'd have a hard time living here. Rika-chan could go me just once and get 2 or 3 croquettes from a vendor after all. I felt like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would. But that only applies to Furude-san in particular. Satoko-chan doesn't have it the same way. Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. Upon thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Satoko had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Was I really thinking that? No, I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There was no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I just kind of vaguely thought that it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Satoko was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Satoko said, "A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all." Those words held a lot more weight now. I've seriously considered adopting her. Huh? Adoption? It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger to my lips. I've lived a really steady life all these years. I have money and a good reputation. But marriage is the one thing I never got around to. By law, obviously a single individual can't adopt a child. Oh yeah, this is 1980s Japan. So I can't make Satoko-chan my adopted daughter. What a shame. Didn't take long for my plan to get her to call me Papa to hit a setback. This guy spouts some crazy stuff. At first I was only half listening, but midway through I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this one girl, Satoko, to be happy. That was neither crazy nor was it nonsense. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings. So there are a lot of people in the fan base that really hate Irie and like think he's a pedo. I have always thought that he was basically kidding. Like it's an edgy joke, sure, but you know, different time, different culture. I figured he's not really serious about about what he said earlier. I think he just plays it up to be a goofball. That's just me personally. Yeah, it is still a thing in a lot of countries. It's a shame. Satoko-chan's current lifestyle is probably not a very happy one. But, you know, I want to make it easier for her, even if it's only a little. Of course, I can't do much for her, but share my leftover food and do errands that she's not strong enough to do. You're wrong. Satoko's happy. Huh? Coach showed surprise at my having declared that. There are so many people all around her that really want her to be happy. She can't possibly feel otherwise. I spoke with a serious expression, quietly, but firmly all the same. It was my approval of his feelings, and my gratitude as Satoko's nii-nii. Thank you. Still, keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? If she knew I wanted to adopt her, she'd probably get mad and call me a pervert for wanting me to call her Papa. I wonder. Satoko may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. She'd call him that. I knew it. As if my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, and returned his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family, had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Satoko Hojo. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way. She lived energetically with a smile. I want her to keep smiling forever. It was a naive wish, and yet it was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So the words that I spoke were the same. What a coincidence. I think the same way. Oh? You too, Maibara-kun? Then that makes us friends. Let's make a promise. A promise? It's a very simple one. The coach said this, giving me a grin. That we'll never, ever make her cry. It was short and to the point. Yeah, I promise too. Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Satoko and everyone else having a good time. She'd certainly lost family, but there were people watching over her. How reassuring that must that have been? Just hypothetically, if you did adopt Satoko, what would you do? That's a tough one. Coach gave a wry, happy smile, then exaggeratedly tilted his head in contemplation.
Well, first I would get her to call me master and make her into a lovely, kind-hearted maid.
Huh? What? How does this guy always pick the craziest time to say the craziest things? Maibara-kun? I haven't said anything yet? What are you talking about? I heard it loud and clear!
Oh, that's right. I clearly said I would make Satoko into my own personal pretty maid.
Ah, that sounds nice. Satoko-chan, how pretty.
Oh, pretty and purity are really hard to differentiate, right? Be careful with mixing refined Japanese words and English together.
I gotta have a listen to how they sound. Puriti and purichi. I get it. Honestly, the intricacies of the language know no bounds.
That's right. Kei-chan, you do understand. Then with that, it's time for...
My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, and was about to leave by the nape of her neck. Hey, wait right there. Don't just show up out of nowhere and start saying crazy stuff. Speaking of saying crazy stuff, I thought the Satoko love talk you were having with the coach was pretty crazy too. I could perform a reenactment of the adoption bit, wanna see? Ah! You've been hiding ever since then? Kei-chan, you can't even beat my sister. You're 100 years too early to challenge me. This was Shion Sonozaki, the younger of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't a scrap of the reserved quality you'd expect from a little sister. She was a villain, no better than her older sister Mion. We met the other day in town, and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for Mion. Unlike Mion, Shion said she was living in Okinomiya, so I thought we'd never see each other again, but to think we actually would. My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. This must be what people mean when they say something is like water off a duck's back. Shion-san, you came. I was disappointed because I thought you wouldn't make it. Well, I couldn't think of anything else to do, really. I figured I'd come and tease you all a little. Coach, why did you need to call Shion to our victory celebration? How does she contribute to our team's win? Well, you see, I'm actually the manager for the Hinamizawa Fighters. The manager? No way, then why weren't you at the game yesterday? That's because I'm like a ghost manager. She seemed to think I'd forgive her if she stuck her tongue out and smiled. She wasn't sorry at all. The match wasn't nearly as pretty without you there. I won't tell you to come to practices, but couldn't you at least come to games to root for us like you always used to? I'll think about it. Maybe I will if Kei-chan joins the Hinamizawa Fighters. I can't get into a cheering mood when there's no good-looking guy on the team. Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? Shion! You little, where did you come from? Suddenly Mion came running over, latched onto my shoulders, and pulled me towards her. Ah! It's Mi-chan's little sister! Hello, Shi-chan! Hello, Rena-san. I'm honored you remembered my name. We only met once. Oh, not at all. Thanks for remembering Rena's name, too. Cut the stupid greetings! You're not allowed to solicit Kei-chan. He's the hope of our club. Don't pull him out and put him in baseball like he's some kind of plant. Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy. Aw. Yep, even Cage-kun is the star rookie of our club. We could never trade him away. Then a smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. I felt like this was gonna turn into a bloody battle. That's too bad. We'll leave the negotiations for another time. You don't have the right to negotiate! Coach, why did you call Shion here, too? She's a Ghost member. She's been slacking off for the last year. I just thought it would be even more fun if Shion-chan was here. Yep. It definitely worked. That was what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished. Hey! Kei-chan, come over here! We're all playing a game. With strings attached, of course. Shi-chan, how about you? The rules are simple and it'll be fun. Should I? I'll just win if I join in, after all. I don't want to ruin my sister's presidential image. Mion, now irritated, turned around with a glare. What is it, my sister? Should I join in to make this a battle of the siblings?
For your sake, I don't think we should. But if you want to... Ah! I won't let you play, Shion. We're leaving you out. Bleh! Oh, Mion just avoided a direct confrontation. Seemed like the twins were completely incompatible with each other. You won't let her play? I was looking forward to seeing you two face off. I hate Shion. I'm bad against her. An angry Mion dragged me away. Slide. Do your best. I'll be rooting for you. Go for it, Kei-chan. Yay! Shion waved her hand at us, reveling in the bliss of teasing Mion. Alright. Club activities had begun, which meant I needed to clear my mind. What was today's battle? Today's punishment game? I'd take anything on. Okay, Kate-san. You should prepare yourself. We are going all out today. Great, bring it on. Satoko or not, I'll crush you all mercilessly. Oops. Aneta will profit from your battle and fish herself up a win. Then I'll get all the manta rays first and ride them to victory. How? Rika-chan is flat like a manta ray. I want to take you home. Okay, everyone. We have a lot of people today, so let's play something easy and simple. Today's game is... Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help clean up after the barbecue. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay, was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny? Man, oh man, Kei-chan's face! He was like, how can you still call yourselves human? Damn it! I had it all worked out when I bought up the scissors. If only Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't betrayed me! It was going great while we had maintained a united front, but Satoko had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ah! I warned you about trusting Hojo! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Satoko's traps pretty early on as well. Damn, I was trying to do well enough to make up for you two. And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet. You were going to have the lowest ranked member of the club play a punishment game, weren't you? Shion remarked as though forcing me to recall something I tried to forget even for a moment. Is that right? Come to think of it, Mayabata-san, when you came up with the punishment game with the president, you looked really heated up. What on earth did you decide on? Earlier, Mion told me to get an Angel Mort uniform ready. Does that have anything to do with it? She told me to get the biggest size I could find. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were giving me this complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. All I could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more I laughed, the more I felt like it was actually funny. Gah! I lost! Oh my. Mayabata-san, what's the matter? You're smiling, crying, and howling. It's okay, he's just pretending not to like it. He can't hide his excitement at the opportunity to gain valuable experience using the punishment game as an excuse. Right? What do you mean, valuable experience? I held my head in my hands in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a 3-letter word. It was... Coach gently put his hands on my shoulders.
Was he comforting me? Maebara-san. In times where you must accept your gay side. Just imagine that you're a maid on the receiving end of some strict disciplining. See? Doesn't the hopeless situation seem kind of fun now? Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Red in the face and indulging in his imagination, still holding my shoulders, Coach said, "Oh, master," and started twirling around like a ballerina. I had to wonder what kind of word associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. The first thing that comes into mind when I think of disciplining certainly isn't maids. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, your coach is pretty funny. I'm surprised he can even be a coach. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. Then they added that he was a really nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a person like that. The coach's questionable revolution slowed to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast. Then let us start cleaning up. Maebara-san, you seem quite strong. Could you bring the plates over to the wash basins and clean them? Right, on it! I hoisted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clinging to it, and looked for the wash basins. These are heavy! Where are the wash basins? Over there?! Figuring I should make it there before my arms came out, I headed towards it at a trot. A lot of the adults who had been helping out were using the wash basins, so I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them, and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall too, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet here. I initially thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as these, but it would probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet to open up back there. I turned the faucet, and water much nicer looking than it gushed forth. I put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand to try and rub it clean. It didn't go very well. Here you go. A sponge and dish soap. You can't wash them with just water. In fact, if something's oily, it's better to not get it wet at all in the first place and just use washing up liquid or dish soap on a dry sponge first and just try to scrub it in and then use water. It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge in a container filled with cleaner to me. Oh, thanks. You should have just put them by the basins and left it to the grown-ups. You're always doing the right thing. I got the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile. I was surprised to learn you're the manager for the Hinamizawa fighters. I thought you didn't do stuff like that because it's too much of a bother. Yes, it is quite a bother. That's why I've stopped showing up entirely. Didn't Coach say he wanted you to come back? You should pay a visit once in a while. If I feel like it, I guess. Shio made it sound like the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Whoops. I couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with conversation, so I decided to take my task seriously. Shio neither offered me to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet. Oh, right. I heard something. You were the star player in yesterday's game, weren't you? Satoko hit the home run, so I think she was the real star player. I didn't know she had those kind of reflexes. It surprised me. She's totally different from Satoshi-kun. There's not much doubt that all the athletic ability in the family went to her. Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence. Satoshi-kun. Satoko Hojo's older brother. You know, Satoshi Hojo-kun? Oh, right. You just moved here this year, didn't you, Kei-chan? You wouldn't have ever met him. I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Never met him, but I know a little. After their parents passed away, he transferred to a different school, right? I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did. Transferred? Who said anything like that? I hadn't yet realized that Shion's tone had changed slightly. Well, I mean... who was it then? Yeah, I heard it from someone. That he transferred. Who? You said that because you asked someone, right? Well, who did I ask? I don't really remember. Even so, he transferred, so that's it, right? Not like there's a problem with it. There is one. Does that mean there's a record of his transfer? to another school? And that someone saw it? Or heard about it? Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on this Shion was, but also how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look. Shion? What's up? You look really serious. With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath, pretended to fix her hair, and went back to her composed expression from before. I'm sorry, but Kei-chan, you don't know much about Satoshi-kun, so please don't say that he transferred or anything like that. I'm serious. Please. I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have, but I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry. I just sort of heard he transferred, and I believed it. Was it actually something else? It was, of course. Preceded by his parents, he had left his sister and run away. But I wanted to try and avoid using the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming you for anything, Kei-chan. I was being a little harsh. I apologize. I didn't really mind. That was a fib. I was actually a little scared, even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave. Fuck's sake! Higurashi! Also, I was trying to grab a screenshot of that, but oh well. Hey, Shion.
Right, good luck with those. Looks like your plate is last.
That's the last one you need to wash. Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I'd so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation were we that I got pretty late. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. No, that's 3 actually. There were 2 times in the bathroom, and then 1 now. And also there was 1 during the Watanagashi chapter. So that's 4 total in all of Higurashi so far. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. Whoosh! I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I'd realized it, and as the heat that had stuck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. Okay, everyone, can I have your attention? Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks, and with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Satoko and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things. People who betray others will one day be betrayed themselves. Never been more true, huh?
You're not the one I want to hear that from, Kate-san. Helena didn't fall for anyone's tricks. That's how I got second. Second! Helena doesn't buy into lies very easily. She has a sharp wit.
I'm surprised. She seems like she would fall for the first lie to come her way.
Funny you should say that, Kei-chan. You desired to prey upon others, and right away you became the prey instead.
Make sure you don't fall for those dumb schemes that promise higher returns the more friends you rope in, okay? Fucking multi-level marketing. Yeah, I'll try harder. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. See, people in the fucking 80s knew about pyramid schemes. And MLMs. There's no fucking excuse for your aunt or cousin now. Jesus. Anyway. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. It reminded me of how we were all such great friends. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I actually know anyone that does multi-level marketing, thankfully.
Anyways, I'm looking forward to Kate-san's punishment game. However, can you really implement such a thing? I would think the store manager would have a thing or two to say about it, no? I wonder. Maybe Kate-kun would be really cute.
What are they talking about? I was kind of not paying attention. Alright.
Cute. I kind of want to see how... I am on the edge of my seat. I'll trip him up and make him wipe the floor. Ah, that would be great. Yeah! Why couldn't I win now of all times? Whenever I think I'll definitely win today and then I'll make someone else play the punishment game, I lose! Is it not enough? Do I not believe hard enough in victory?
It's okay, Keiichi. At least you don't remember the time you had to be a maid last time.
Ah! The wailing of the loser tastes like sweet honey. How sad, how sad. Pat, pat. This is how you get stronger, Keiichi-kun. It's like I'm looking at Mi-chan from last year.
Mi-chan last year? What, did she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated President Mion was once like that. No need to talk about that. By the way, there's a manga adaptation of this that has a very nice full-page illustration of Keiichi in the maid outfit from the Watanagashi chapter. I recommend looking it up if you're curious.
No need to talk about that.
Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Harika-chan pulled on Satoko's sleeve.
Okay. We should be going soon. Oh, yes, we must go shopping for dinner, mustn't we?
I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home.
Alright, bye.
See you tomorrow at school. Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
Okay, let's go.
We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. God, there's been all sorts of punishment games. The Keiichi made one was in Watanagashi. I think the president one, or like the principal one was, principal one was in Onikakushi. There was one where they had to, where he and Rena had to buy stuff, and then it was just Mion's grocery list. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it were never there. Oh yeah, there was also one where it was like, where as people lost, they had to like pull out a penalty from like a list, and then one of them was, the last one was like, do every penalty up until now, and Keiichi got that one. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today. Kind of think of it, it's still June, huh? We didn't have a rainy season at all this year. Like, all of a sudden, it's just summer, you know? Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, of hydrangeas and snails. I haven't seen a real rainy season since transferring here. According to the weather forecast, it's supposed to get more rainy during the first part of the week. They're warning people about heavy showers. I hope it doesn't run into Watanagashi.
That's right. The rainy season's supposed to be rainy. Rena likes all the rain in the rainy season.
What? So much rain just makes me depressed. Hey, Kei-chan. Huh? Ah. I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child, completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for, so my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in very direct fashion. Satoko had a brother, right? Named Satoshi, I think? What? As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Ren and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? Read the teacher. God, yeah. That's what they made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. What happened to Satoshi again? Did he move away? That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance. Mion turned around and looked to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us, then quietly and softly spoke.
Wait, did we not tell you? He transferred out.
When I said those words to Shion, she got upset, so I answered her with the same words Shion had given me. Transferred. Who told you something like that?
Huh?
I had only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark. If he really transferred, there'd be records of it at school and stuff, right? But is there actually anything like that? Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Satoko's older brother ran away out of consideration for her. I'm not trying to blame you for anything, okay? I just wanted to ask what happened to Satoshi, that's all. I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I had lashed out at them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun, but now... Why did I go and say something that made all of that meaningless? I couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough, let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up. Well, it's not like we were hiding it or lying. I hope you understand, that's not what we were trying to do. Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuses of a child who'd been presented with evidence of her own mischief. Satoshi, well, he didn't transfer schools, Mion said, resigning herself. And I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize, but right before that...
He won't come back.
What? Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Rena was extremely clear and resolute. He won't come back? What?
He won't come back home ever since that day.
He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say that he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought you'd only say it like Rena did if he wasn't capable of coming back. You wouldn't say it like that when talking about someone who ran away from home. What do you mean he won't come back? Where did Satoshi go?
Don't know.
Rena's word choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold that I couldn't muster a response right away. Well, she's right. After that day, Satoshi hasn't returned home. Mion noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Rena had said. Well, that is, everyone in the village searched for him, and we even got the police to help us look. And, well, they started thinking that maybe he ran away. They started thinking he maybe ran away? When running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of a letter apologizing to Satoko. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home. The police did an investigation. Satoshi had been earning money at a part-time job and had put some aside. And they learned that on the day he vanished, he withdrew it all. And then at Nagoya Station or something, they spotted someone who looked a lot like Satoshi. He withdrew all of his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough to me, but before I could say anything...
I think that's a lie. Satoshi-kun didn't run away, declared Hirana shortly.
Hey, wait. So if he didn't transfer schools or move away, and he didn't run away from home, then what on earth? Stop it, Hirana, Mion whispered to her. Hirana, however, continued without interruption, and then she said this.
Because it was Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Huh? A curse? It took some time before I understood what Hirana meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little. Satoshi talked to me before he disappeared. He said someone was watching him, stalking him. They even followed him home. He told me that when he went to bed, they were standing there at his bedside, looking down at him. Stop it, Hirana. It's a portent of Oyashiro-sama's curse. There's no doubt. I think somewhere deep down, Satoshi-kun was probably thinking about abandoning Hinamizawa and running away. And Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow that. I said, stop it. Oyashiro-sama is the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. He would never allow anyone to abandon Hinamizawa and run away. I apologized for it, but Satoshi-kun probably didn't. It must have been! It must have been Oyashiro-sama's curse! Oyashiro-sama's curse? I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's curse. The police may have said he ran away, but I don't believe it! I won't believe it! Not ever! It's just a lie told by the self-important people in the village who don't want to admit it was the curse! And whether or not you believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse, it's... Wham! Mion struck Hirana in the head. And not in a joking way either. I told you to give it a rest, didn't I? I try to be nice, but you're pushing me to my limits. Pushing her to her limits. Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at that moment. For a few moments after being hit, Hirana looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind, because after a little while she regained her original calm expression. We arrived at the place we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always split up with Mion here, leaving just Hirana and me. Hey, Kei-chan. Didn't I promise to lend you some manga? Want to come over real quick? Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone. Oh, I see. Okay, then Hirana will go home. Maybe she realized it, maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Hirana quickly said she'd go home before us. Bye, Hirana. See you tomorrow. Yep. See you tomorrow. Keiichi-kun, don't be too much of a bother now. It's already evening. I'm just gonna borrow a few books. See ya. Considering the fun day we had, it was a very insipid, lonely parting. Hey, don't worry too much about before. After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Hirana. No, I'm not really. I think it was my fault anyway. We weren't trying to hide anything about Satoshi. It's just one of those things that we shouldn't mention, you know? At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interactions with Hirana, I understood so well it hurt that I should never talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in it at all. But that's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Idiot, stop this, Keiichi Maebara! By the time I tried to warn myself, I'd accidentally spoken already. I won't ask ever again. So could you tell me honestly? What on earth happened to Satoshi? He ran away, right? For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly. Have you heard about Oyashiro-sama's curse? Just a little bit. I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worship at the shrine where we had at the barbecue today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people who worked on site died or something, and the people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. And that's how it was. Satoshi's dead parents. They were proponents of the dam project. Huh? Wasn't everyone in the village against it? Why would they support the project if they lived here? The dam project that would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I'd heard the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe there were villagers who were supporting it. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on, but not everyone agreed to stand out to the dam proposal. Satoshi's parents were basically the leaders of those who were all for it. Leaders of the ones for it? Satoko and Satoshi's parents? Yeah. The government had gathered a lot of compensation money to exchange for the construction of the dam. There were plenty of people who agreed with the proposal because they wanted the money. Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was in general not very affluent, and not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so given the situation. It just happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice. And then, their parents had bad luck. They died in an accident on the day of the festival honoring Oyashiro-sama. So people started to think that maybe it had been Oyashiro-sama's curse. I thought back to what Coach told me today. They went to a nature park on a family outing and fell from a cliff. So people thought even Satoshi running away from home was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? Well, yeah. Basically. It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details. I don't think I need to explain this, but for Satoko, her parents' accident and Satoshi running away, and all the business about Oyashiro-sama's curse, none of it's a very happy story, you know? Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod silently. That's why we're not mentioning anything about Satoko's family. Even if someone asks about Satoshi, we just lie and say he transferred schools. You can understand why, right? He wanted to protect Satoko's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry I asked something so careless. When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. With that understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance. Bye then, Mion. Sorry about today. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Goodbye. We waved to each other. Then suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me. Kei-chan! One more thing. Not only around Satoko, could you keep quiet about Satoshi with Rena, too? Huh? I think you realized earlier, but for some reason, when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, she gets extremely serious. Ever since she transferred here. Yeah, judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us, but if Mion hadn't been there, what might have happened? Why would Rena be so serious about it? Not only Rena either, but Shion too. I don't know. Rena is... Oh, this is a secret, okay? If you tell anyone, we're not friends anymore. Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further. I won't tell. What's this about Rena? She says she's been a victim of Oyashiro-sama's curse before. Huh? Well, it may sound mean, but I think it might be a bad case of a persecution complex or some kind of wrong assumption. But she says so herself, so I believe her. If I poke fun at it, she gets pretty upset. Rena jokes around all the time, but she's really scary when she's mad. I get it. Don't talk about it in front of Rena, right? About Satoshi. Yeah. If possible, I think we shouldn't talk about this ever again. For her sake. And for Satoko's. For everyone else's, too. If I must say, for your own sake, too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mion made sure I knew that. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Thanks. Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I watched her go, a little dazed, and then started walking myself. Satoko's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile. Yet my curiosity easily defeated me, and I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I am shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today, too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday, and today we had a blast at the big barbecue party, too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all of those fun times. I would have to be more careful starting tomorrow. I would put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell I'm going to let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. But the more I thought that I'd be more careful starting tomorrow, the more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I had already put an end to those enjoyable days with what I'd just done. Hey, wait. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. It doesn't make any sense to think my life will be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today. I'm acting weird. I'm thinking a little too much about that conversation. I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long. Oh my god, 3 tips? Okay. Achievement unlocked, mystery meat. But it wasn't a mystery though. Oh, I guess there was a different mystery. Okay, whatever. The slacking manager. Shion-san, why don't you help out a little? Are you asking a girl to carry something heavy? This is why you still haven't found a nice lady at your age, Coach. Well, you see, at times like this, here's what people say. It's none of your business. He was loading the station wagon with heaps of equipment we used for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their way. Alright, so, Shion-san, why did you come all the way here? Jesus Christ, Billy, why did your mom let you have 3 tips? If you rode here on your bike, I can give you a lift. I did, but I'll be fine riding back. I can appreciate your consideration. I was glad you came today. Things don't quite fit together without the manager here. Am I still the manager? I've been shirking my duty for an entire year, so maybe you should just fire such an incompetent manager already. Alright, if you say you want to quit, I'll fire you whenever you want. That's not fair. Let me go soon, please. Every time I don't show up at a game, I get an annoying phone call, and I can't stand those. If you were more honest with yourself, Shion-chan, you'd be far cuter. Your father's so sad. Where did he go so wrong as to deserve such a rebellious daughter? Oh, perhaps if your father catches you in a big loving embrace, you'll open your eyes? Well then, don't mind if I do. Come here! Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding. Nothing's changed. You're still a weirdo, Coach, and everyone's still lively as ever. Even though Satoshi-kun isn't here. Is that what you wanted to say? He'll come home, I'm sure of it. He has someone waiting for him. Say whatever you want. He sure is cruel, isn't he? Going off to who knows where. Leaving such a cute girlfriend behind.
Huh? Girlfriend? Who? Who? Huh?
Jeez. Quit laughing already. Coach! Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while. We'll see each other again. Please come and root for us once in a while, okay?
If I feel like it. I have no desire to be the manager anymore, after all.
That's fine. If you don't like it, I'll fire you. I'm not the kind of person who likes forcing people to do things against their will. Okay, fine, fine. I'm sorry. You win this round. If I feel like it, I'll come root for you, so for today, just be patient. He then bursts into flames, inexplicably, yes. Oops, that time already. It's past time to return all this. I'm already making them wait for me. I'll be leaving for today then. Let's meet again at the next game. Yes, if I feel like it. Goodbye, Coach. Copy of the preliminary autopsy. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. 1. Entire body bound in restraints. Traces left behind from when this body seem to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appear to have been bound especially tightly. Highly likely that the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. 2. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to suggest there was at least one more other than the one who severed this body parts holding down the victim's head. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them most likely being scissors or shears. Number 3. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of each finger on each hand for a total of 30. No, it should be 28. The deceased's fingers were nailed to wooden planks 20 square centimeters large. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely that the table was originally designed for just such a purpose. Number 4. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in medical methodology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. The first tip was basically just Shion and Irie having a conversation about Satoshi. During the only real piece of information that came up was that Shion was Satoshi's girlfriend. Now we're doing an autopsy report for the dead body that was at the start of the chat of this arc. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of this process. Number 5. Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the OG River's third drain. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. To Oishi-san, here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the OG River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having a possible relation to the S group. What are your thoughts, Oishi-san? East round 3. There it is. Ron. 3 Chun, 3 Dora. Mangan with 1,500 extra. And? What's up with that? How do you have 3 Dora? You idiot. You're the one who flipped over another Kandora when you knew Oishi was in Tenpai. That's what you get. Getting more Dora was the only thing I could do after revealing the Chun. You can't discard a Dora tile after a Yakuhai is out. Oishi grinned meaningfully as his buddies, swearing, began breaking down the walls and reforming them. By the way, Oishi-san, identified her yet? Why do people meme it so much? Because it's a very goddammit type of moment. Like, you think you're good doing well, and he's like, oh, actually your information is out of date, fuck you. And people are like, oh, for fuck's sake. By the way, Oishi-san, identified Oishi hot, god. What? Oh, the mutilated body in the drainage channel. Any new leads come up? Yes, well, you'll have to find proof yourself, though. You're really something. Who is the deceased? Rina Mamiya. Actual name Ritsuko. Apparently she worked for the Blue Mermaid, a hostess bar on Shishibone Flower Road. Phew, that's a nasty place. A young leader of the Sonozaki owns it, yeah? In this house we simp for Oishi. Sonozaki. Huh. So it's related to the S group. That mountain will be tough to scale. Rumors say the deceased had been dipping into the Sonozaki's protection money, and on a pretty significant scale too, from what I've heard. A woman getting her hands on the protection money. Sounds like a man's behind it. Not a lot of women do that sort of thing themselves. Well, he's dead anyway. The body just hasn't been found yet. About that, Oishi-san, her cohabitant's apparently alive. Alive? Then maybe he'll die soon. Vermin usually exterminate other vermin. I think we have a very nice self-cleansing system going on. Anyway, her man. It's, well, Teppei Hojo. Hojo? Who's that? Teppei Hojo, the husband of the housewife who was beaten to death last year in Hinamizawa. What's with people who simp with people complaining about people simping? I don't really care, honestly, about either. Okay. I heard he disappeared after the incident, though. I get it. He was staying at his lover's place, huh? And so the Sonozakis grow ever more suspicious. Where is he now? He was living in a woman's apartment. He must have thought she abandoned him, so he's been searching around shops and other gathering places. If Oishi hit you with that Mayabara-san, then you would act up. Good shit. Well then. So apparently, Satoko's uncle had been living with this Rina Mamiya person who has been murdered. Well, now it's all kind of coming together. Alright, well, I'm pretty tired actually. I know I've only been going for 3 hours, and I did less than 3 hours yesterday, but I don't know. I don't think I can stream for much longer today, so next time we'll be continuing with this, seeing how things progress. The stakes are getting, well, not the stakes, but things are getting a little bit more spicy. We've got Satoshi's disappearance being discussed. We have this business with the uncle and the dead lady he was living with. So, yeah. Thanks for coming along. Next time we'll see how it goes. Goodbye.